A very good morning to all students. Today we are studied about the chapter 16 of chemistry, which is green chemistry and nanotechnology. The chapter it is divided into the two parts. First is green chemistry and second is the nanotechnology. In first part we are studying about the green chemistry. In green chemistry, we are studied about the introduction of green chemistry, the definition of green chemistry, sustainable development, the 12 principles of green chemistry, and the role of green chemistry in our life. Now, first of all, see what is meant by green chemistry and what is the role of green chemistry. As we all know, chemistry play a very important role in improving the quality of our life. But due to the various problems like the increase in the human population, pollution, environmental problem, the energy crisis and various problems has to be arise. To solve these problems, the new technique has to be arise which is known as the green chemistry. The concept of green chemistry it can be given by the scientist Paul T. Anastas, so he is known as the father of green chemistry. Green chemistry it is an approach to the chemistry that aims to maximize the efficiency and minimize the hazardous effect on human health and environment. In short, we have to given the maximum percentage of products and minimize the hazardous effect on human health. The green chemistry it is about the reducing the waste material hazards, risk, energy and cost. Now, the definition of green chemistry. There are two definitions. One is green chemistry. It is the use of chemistry for the pollution prevention by environmentally conscious design of chemical products and processes that reduce or eliminate the use of all generation of hazardous waste. That means we have to use that products which can be convert the very low amount of hazardous waste. The second definition is the design of chemical products and processes that are more environment friendly and reduce the negative impacts on human health and environment. Means the process or product which cannot be create the toxic waste material which can be create the harmful effect on environment or human health. Now next is the sustainable development. The green sustainable development can be play a very important role in the green chemistry. And sustainable development it is the development that meets the need of present but without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own need. For example, the use of coal and oil is at peak point because coal and oil it is the non renewable source of energy, so that it can be meet at present, but the future generation it cannot be meet at that point because it is the exhausted as it is non renewable source of energy. So coal and oil it is replaced by the renewable source of energy like the solar energy, solar panel. So it is the sustainable development. The sustainable development it can be includes the environment factors, economic factors and the social factors. The measures of sustainable development it can be found in the various parameters like the pollution control, then renewable resources, that means non renewable resources it can be replaced by the renewable resources, population control, integrated land use planning, biosphere conservation, water resource management like using the wastewater and rainwater harvesting. Now next is the principles of green chemistry. The definition of green chemistry it is best explained by the 12 principles of green chemistry, which is given by the scientists Paul T. Anastas and John C. Warner. Now see what are these 12 principles of green chemistry. These are: first is the prevention of waste or byproducts, second is the atom economy, third is the less hazardous chemical synthesis, fourth is the designing safer chemicals, Fifth is the use safer solvent and auxiliaries. Sixth is the design for energy efficiency. Seventh is the use of renewable feedstocks. Eighth is the reduce derivatives. Ninth is the use of catalysis. 10th is the design for degradation. 11th is the real-time analysis for the pollution prevention. 12th is the safer chemistry for the accident prevention. Now let us see one by one. The first is the prevention of waste or byproduct. It is always said that prevention is always better than cure. So we have to give priority for the prevention of waste rather than cleaning up and treating the waste after it has been created. Means we don't have to be create the waste, so the prevention problem has not to be arise. For example, if land coming out from the cleansing of machinery part, it can be used as an coolant water in the thermal power station. Second example is the bottom ash of thermal power station. As we know that ash cannot be degraded, so it can be creates the pollution problem. So it is used as a raw material for the preparation of cement and brick. Now second is the atom economy. It is the measure of amount of atoms from the starting materials that are present in the useful product at the end of chemical process. In short, we have to use maximum or all number of atoms in the chemical synthesis. Means all the starting materials, that is reactants, are converted into the final substance or the products. So these the chemical methods, it should be designed to maximize the incorporation of all the material that are used in the process into the final products. The formula for the percentage yield is actual yield divided by theoretical yield into 100, and atom economy is percentage of atom economy is nothing but the formula weight of atom utilized divided by formula weight of all reactants into 100. Now third principle, it is the less hazardous chemical synthesis. So we have to design the chemical reactions and the synthesis routes. It should be as safe as possible, so that there is an avoid the formation of hazardous waste from the chemical process. It can be best explained with the help of example DDT, that is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. It can be used as an insecticide, means to kill the insect, but it is found to be harmful to the human beings. So nowadays DDT, it can be replaced by the BHC, that is benzene hexachloride, which is also used as an insecticide to kill the insect. Means we have to use the less hazardous chemical instead of the DDT. Now next fourth principle, it is the designing safer chemicals. To develop the products that are less toxic or which requires the less toxic raw material, means we have to always give preference to less toxic material. To prevent the workers from the exposure to the toxicity, we should think of designing the safer chemicals. For example, it is found that for the preparation of adipic acid we use the benzene, but benzene it is the carcinogenic. So in green chemistry we have to prepare the adipic acid from glucose instead of benzene, and it can be prepare the adipic acid from glucose by enzymatic synthesis method. Now next is the fifth principle is use safer solvent and auxiliary. It can be minimize the total amount of solvent and auxiliary substances used, as this makes a large percentage of total waste created. For example, in the alkylation of butene, highly corrosive HF and H2SO4 were used. However, these are now replaced by the solid acid catalyst like the zeolite. Now next principle of green chemistry, it is design for energy efficiency. The chemical synthesis, it should be designed to minimize the use of energy. Means in this we have to use less amount of energy. It is always better to minimize the energy by carrying out the reaction at room temperature and pressure. For this we have to use the proper catalyst, microorganism and renewable materials. For example, improving the technology of heating system, use of microwave heating, etc. Now next 6 principle we have studied in the second video. Thank you.